Well, hello everybody and welcome to Clean Valley Farms for this aquaponic update that starts with the dog at the compost. Why? Because what else is in this picture? What else do we see? Come on. Observation skills, that's right. It's white fluffy stuff falling from the sky. So I guess that makes this the first snowfall in Manitoba aquaponic update with quintessential dog shot. So I'm finding things all over the place and bringing them into this little greenhouse space here just to make it feel a little more, I don't know, lived in. It's about 5 degrees in here apparently. Fish seem to be doing alright. I don't see any of the food that I put on there this morning anyway. They're still not coming to eat while I'm around, but they are obviously eating it down. That's what matters. Found a little tiny bit of insulation to go around that tank, not quite enough. Now that it's snowing, I've definitely got to get going on all of that stuff. Want to build a rigid foam board insulation box around the water tanks. I think that's definitely the way to go there. And the little greenhouse over the aquaponic garden bed here. Trap a lot of the heat. We learned that last year in the hoop house. Plus I've got a lot of spaces where the air is just plain flowing through this pallet wall fence that they've got up here. So we're going to sacrifice some old air mattresses and floaty rafts that have been suspect for a long time. And I'm just going to staple gun those right up against these interior walls to block that draft. And I have learned that that piece of tin that you see right there is directly exposed to the outside. So I've got a great deal of heat transfer going on there. I'll get that dealt with sooner or later. Probably going to throw a tarp on over it. But this is about the aquaponics, so let's see how it's doing. You'll notice I split up the curries a little bit. I've got one here, I've got one here, and I've got this curry in a bottle over here, hoping it'll root. But it takes a really long time for that green curry to develop roots cloning like this. My pepper here, my Tabasco's still alive somehow. Miracle, really. And the mint seems to be doing just great. I don't know how well you can see all that fresh growth coming up in the bottom there. This one pepper, this is a cherry bomb pepper, I believe. Still showing signs of life somehow. Miracle, really, because here we have more of the direct holes to the outside. I'm going to cover that up with a sheet of thicker plastic, I think. We'll do a winterizing the greenhouse or a winterizing the aquaponic video later. This is just kind of a first snow update. Looking down here, the strawberry's not looking too good. The willow, can't really tell if the willow's doing anything or not, but here we've got that elderberry still growing from Permaculture Prepper, and you can see plenty of green starting on that. So I suspect this is going to be doing just fine before too long at all. And you may have noticed on this end I have a whole lot of onions because they're doing really well. I put some of the sets in and they are growing some pretty insane roots. Like this one here, that root has come up and around and is going back down. I've got a couple of just floater onion sets in here out of idle curiosity because I have enough of them. Although I guess if it's snowing now I really should go and harvest those, so maybe I'll wrap this up a little quicker than I thought. But some of the onions that have been pulled along the way for dinners that weren't quite big enough have found themselves in here because I've heard these onion greens are good. And aquaponics is pretty good at growing sweet stuff, so a sweet onion green would be nice. But we'll see what comes of it. The sage still isn't really coming back to life. It might just be the end of it for that one. These things do happen. Plants die. That's the nature of life. But there you go. So far, it looks like everything is doing quite well. I'm very pleased. Oh, I had promised to show you guys the new sump tank. Got this down here. It's one of the old sump tanks that no longer has moving stuff in it. Considering it's about twice the size of that little blue one that's now the Rubbermaid poop chute, I figured why not give it a go. It gives me a lot more room for error with the water level on top of that pump as it's filling the bed. Because as you can see, I still haven't filled up the bed completely with media. I am collecting more and more rocks from around the yard, and yes, there are concerns about mineral deposits, But you know what? The rocks act as a heat sink. The rocks act as a surface for the bacteria to grasp onto. There are just more pros than cons in this situation, in my opinion, at this point. So, in the future, I may look for more specific rocks, but I doubt it. I'll probably just go get some 3/4 inch gravel or 3/4 inch river rock and fill up future beds, because it's cheap. And it holds down heavy plants. And I've learned that tomatoes in my aquaponic garden can get to be heavy plants. So I think I am going to wrap it up here, because that snow's getting a little bit bigger, and I really do want to collect a lot more of those onion sets before they get buried in the snow. So I'm off to go get those while I still can. Thanks for joining along, everybody, on my first Snowfall Manitoba aquaponic update. Hopefully I'll get to winterizing this thing properly in the next week or so, and we can get a video up for you guys on that. Until then, feel free to check out all the other channels. There's usually something interesting going on there. And I will see you guys next time. Well, there are still quite a few of these things that are going to get buried under with the snow and stuff, but that appears to be the natural way of it with these onions, so I've got a few here to dry up. We'll see what I do with those, eh? Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for sticking around.